Your girl Tamia, and where they live in a house on the hills in the projects, you are royalty over here, y'all. So we are on part 2 of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And if you want the full class, you can click the link in the description, because in that class we go over harassment, false and being deceptive, unfair means, collection of time barred debts, and so much more. We also go over how to use that against attorneys, because attorneys are governed under the FDCPA, and we just learned a lot in that class. But today we're going to go over acquisition of location information, okay? So the term location information means a consumer's place of abode and telephone number at such place or place of employment. Form and content of location communications. A debt collector communicating with a person other than the consumer for the purpose of acquiring location information must identify himself or herself individually by name, state that he or she is confirming or correcting the consumer's location information, and, only if expressly requested, identify his or her employer. Not state that the consumer owes any debt. Okay? Not communicate by postcard. Now, I don't really see too many debt collectors for the most part communicate by postcard, but I see a lot of, I see the credit reporting agencies. I see Equifax, TransUnion, Experian more so communicating with postcards, which is still a violation if, when we get to the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Not use any language or symbol on any envelope or in the contents of any communication by mail indicating that the debt collector is in the debt collection business or that the communication relates to the collection of a debt. So they're not even supposed to be using any language or symbol on the envelope, right? Or in the contents of any communication by mail indicating that the debt collector is in the debt collection business or that the communication relates to the collection of a debt. Wait a minute now, because when you, all of the debt collectors that has ever contacted me has always said in the contents of their message that this is a attempt to collect a debt and they're trying to get a balance from me, right? They're trying to get a payment from me. They're trying to collect on a debt. But right here it says not use any language or symbol on any envelope or in the contents of any communication by mail indicating that the debt collector is in the debt collection business or that the communication relates to the collection of a debt. So if they're communicating with somebody outside of you, they aren't allowed to do this. They aren't allowed to do this. I've had one person that I know of that received a letter that was for somebody else, but it was addressed to them stating that the person owed a debt. They were in direct violation. Now, when it comes to, because there is something called your mini Miranda rights when it comes to debt collectors. That's when they get on the phone and they say, hi, this is an attempt to collect a debt. Anything you say, will be used for that purposes. That is called your mini Miranda rights when it comes to debt collection practices. But that is if they're only trying to, right? When they're only communicating with you, when they're trying to acquire about your location information, they aren't able to disclose that you owe a debt to anybody else but you. Okay. After the debt collector knows the consumer is represented by an attorney with regard to the subject debt and has knowledge of or can readily ascertain such attorney's name and address, not communicate with any person other than that attorney unless the attorney fails to respond to the debt collector's communication within a reasonable period of time. So this is pretty much just saying if you decide to get an attorney and you are being represented by an attorney, that they can only communicate with that attorney and not you. They can no longer contact you. Now, and also in the description box below, I will also link another class that goes over if you are being sued by a debt collector, because a lot of people are being sued by debt collectors. Your wages are getting garnished and you're having so many issues with them, and these are third party debt collectors. These are people you have not signed a contract with. And because they bought the debt, okay, and all the information along with it, make sure they stand on, right, the the contract that they're calling into evidence saying that you signed and you owe the debt that wasn't to them. Make sure you make them stand on that contract, because in that contract there is an arbitration clause, right? So by the time, you know, you get to going back and forth with them, you got to remember that a lot of these debt collectors, they don't have in-house attorneys. They have to outsource for these attorneys, right? So by the time they spend all this money on outsourcing for an attorney and paying to be represented and all this other stuff, they're like, okay, you know what? We're going to settle out. I will be doing an arbitration class really, really soon, so stay tuned for that. Um, but yeah, y'all. Also, the last thing that I want to mention is the Freedom Bundle. That includes all my classes and ebooks. Um, and it is for a limited time. So I will link that also in the description box below. And I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any suggestions, or there's something that you need a little bit more clarity on that you would like me to make a video about, make sure you leave it in the comment section so that I can take it into consideration. And if that's something that, I'm knowledgeable in, I will drop the gems on that. But with that being said, you guys, I will see y'all in the next video. If you like this video, make sure you like it. If you learned something new, join the family, subscribe. And yeah, you guys, I'm out.